Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. The great, legendary Mark Rivera's here from Billy Joel's band, sax player. Does a little bit of everything. You know, I was going to ask you, did you have a relationship at all with Clarence Clemens? Did you know him?
Yeah, I met Clarence. I'm pretty close with a number of the guys in the
East Street Band.
In fact, on my record, Nils Lofgren played a solo on one of the songs.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Nils and I are very close.
So you knew those guys.
Yeah, I know them all, but Clarence and I, you know, there's guys that you walk by on stage, we do these shows, and like, hey, what's up? You know,
right, the shows, right.
Not unlike if you're an athlete, you got to have respect for great athletes. You have respect for people who have greatness in your field, and Clarence was. He was the man.
It was great to see you guys play the 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
That was cool.
thing. You know,
that was cool.
Yeah, that's one thing you talk about when everybody gets together.
Sure.
And, you know, the 9/11 concert, I have that on DVD at the Garden. You know, to see your guys' set was really poignant there, man. Like, I mean, it was eerie how appropriate Miami 2017 was for that.
It's prophetic. Yeah,
yeah really.
Yeah.
And the piano intro to that, it gives you the chills, and your work and all those songs, New York State of Mind and everything. Really, you know, bravo, man. That was pretty incredible.
But I have to tell you, I thought the pinnacle of that show was when The Who sang "We Don't Get Fooled Again."
Right.
I'm telling you, Liberty and I went on the side of the stage, and we're standing there.
Yeah.
He said, "Are we that excited, or are they that good?" I said, "Yes."
Yeah, both.
They were so amazing.
They blew the doors off the place.
There was
man.
nothing like it, and you had firemen, these
6'4"
dudes,
exactly,
on each other's shoulders, crying. We won't get fooled. And I'm like, oh my God.
They would cut to them. They knew every word to your guys' songs. You know, they would cut to them when you guys were playing, and every word to the Who, and like going. And it's like they almost gave their kids. They gave to their wives because the Backstreet Boys had got done playing. You know, and that was time for the adult stuff for like you guys and the Who.
Now we could have fun.
Right, exactly. And they're in those uniforms singing, you know, won't be fooled again, and Bob O'Reilly.
It was.
Yeah, you're right.
It was off the chain.
And who's the only person who follow the Who is McCartney, and you end with McCartney and Eric Clapton playing on Let It Be, and all you guys going out there.
I'm
going to
leave that alone because, quite frankly, the Who was over.
No, you're right.
It was over.
You can't follow the Who, man.
And look, I'm a huge Beatles fan. I played with Ringo for 18 years. When the Who did what they did,
right?
They personified what that whole thing was. We won't get fooled again.
That's right.
It's like saying,
perfect.
How dare you?
It's
and
perfect.
we'll never forget.
Yep.
We'll never forget what you did. And
the Who's set that night is as good a set as I've ever seen a rock band play.
I agree.
I think they did. They opened up with Who Are You?
Who Are You?
And then they did Behind Blue Eyes because I have the DVD. People don't realize it. Behind Blue Eyes. Then Baba, then Won't Be Fooled Again.
Yeah,
and you guys did
ridiculous.
You guys did New York State of Mind, Miami 2017, and what else did you guys do?
Did we do You May Be Right or Only the Good? No, we didn't do Only the Good because it just wasn't appropriate.
No,
I think we did You May Be Right.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
all just perfect classic stuff. Yeah.
It was like 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 a combination with a quick left cross, and it was over.
It was so emotional in that.
Yeah,
in the garden
it was.
That night.
It was.
Yeah. Well, it was good that you guys did stuff like that. You know, you seem to be there's go-to guys. Like after Sandy, you guys were there again.
That was awesome.
What was it like playing with Elton John? What is it like playing with Elton John?
I mean, honestly, he's a great songwriter. Billy and Elton would go like tit for tat across the stage.
Right.
You have two of the most amazing songwriters of our time.
Right.
And the songs were just ridiculous. The songs were amazing.
One hit after another.
Yeah, it was like talk about nothing but.
Would you play on Elton songs in those shows? I never saw one.
Well, what I did was we all sang on a couple of songs, but I got to play the sax solo on I can't remember. This is a senior moment here.
Love Lies Bleeding in My Hand.
No.
Funeral for a Friend.
No.
I'm trying. An Elton song you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what has sax in it. I know Funeral for a Friend is. Rockin' Man.
No, it'll come to me. It'll probably come to me like after I'm off the stage. I'll come. Oh, yeah, Artie, I remember that. But it was great. I got to play a soloist hanging out next to him. It was a lot of fun.
What a great life! We were talking about during the break. And interesting. You come from Brooklyn.
Yep.
And your old man. It's humble beginnings, and something falls off a truck in Red Hook with a longshoreman.
That's my Uncle Vinny.
Yeah, your Uncle Vinny gives you a clarinet, a sax. And you know, look at the life you've got to lead because of that. I mean, it's really an American story. You know?
I'm very grateful,
Yeah.
to say the least.
I want to read some of these names of the people that you've worked with and played with. It's incredible, and I want to know who impressed you the most. You got first Mutt Lange. You started out with him. Hall and Oates, Peter Gabriel, John Lennon, Joe Walsh,
What'd you
Simon
do
and
with Lennon?
Garfunkel,
A TV show and a couple of things for Gary U.S. Bonds.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Ringo, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Nils Lofgren, Robert Randolph. Who just blew your mind? Any of those guys?
Well, the work with Foreigner was incredible. That was and that was the first time.
They were a huge band. People
were-
forget Foreigner, man. They were
When we were out in tour,
amazing.
like in the '80s, it was
That
off the
was your
chart.
first big gig, right?
Yeah, it was my first big. In fact, I'd already met Mutt in '77. We had done a record with a band called Tycoon, and then Mutt calls me and says, "Would you like to come down to Electric Lady?" I'm like, I just walked up a 6th floor walk up with my saxophone. I'm like, oh man. He says, "I'm recording Foreigner," and I said, "Boom!" I was out of there. It was great. Well, it's they made a huge impression, and there was a lot of things in my playing and my singing because I love Lou's voice. Who impressed me? The Beatles impressed me. I mean, back in '64.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've all impressed me in different ways. I mean, I loved singing backgrounds with Daryl Hall. I love being Ringo's musical director.
Were you part of that All-Star band, Ringo's All-Star band?
I'm his musical director.
Musical director.
For
Wow.
for
So
18 years.
Now, how hard is that with all those egos
Piece
and
of cake.
everything? Was it really?
Piece
Yeah.
of cake.
What
you
a
go
band.
You go in there and you tell them, like, they hire you to make it right.
Right.
It's like, how tough is it to be the captain of a great football team or the captain of a great
Well, that's a good
great team.
analysis. A
But it's
manager
gotta-
of an All-Star team.
But
yeah.
you have to be a great, like you talked about the Bulls before. And
Right.
When Phil Jackson came in, they
You
all
knew how to handle it.
They had these players. How come he went from there, and how come the Lakers all of a sudden were winning?
Yeah.
He had pretty much the same team.
Exactly.
You had a guy that could bring it, and I don't believe me. I'm not touting myself to be Phil Jackson.
No, but that's a big deal.
I go in there
It is, it's hard.
and I tell people this is why I've been hired to make
Yeah.
it sound as good as it can be.
And I agree with you. Lou Graham and Paul Rogers,
That's
their
my
company.
say no more. Those
Yeah.
are my favorite two.
Those two guys' voices are incredible. Yeah, but, that's pretty amazing stuff working with Foreigner, like a big range of stuff.
Yeah.
But John Lennon, like, what kind of a guy was he?
One of maybe the most in the moment and most present person I've ever met in my life. I mean, the
really.
guy was just he was the guy.
And you did a TV show with him.
A
You said?
TV show tribute to Sir Lou Gray. We did a bunch of things for. We did some TV stuff that went to London
Right.
when he couldn't go home because.
Right.
With his
Exiled for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we did a Gary U.S. Bonds record. He produced, and we played some sessions on that.
Now, was Yoko a problem?
No, you make your problems.
Yeah.
It's like a great Derek Jeter comment. A friend of mine, I'm pretty good friends with Charlie Steiner.
Oh, okay.
And Charlie.
I know Charlie. I worked for him, actually. Yeah.
And basically, he said in the conversation that when they asked Derek Jeter, so how do you like working for George?
yeah.
He said, well, Mr. Steiner. No, I'm sorry. It was a story about Joe Torre. He says, how do
He
you like
always says
working?
Mr. Torre.
He said,
yeah,
Mr.
right.
Torre, but he said, you don't get to pick and choose the parts of a person you like and don't like. You just have to, and I think that's really,
Perfect way to look
I
at
think
it. Yeah.
that's the way you got to look at life, man. You know, I like this, I like that, but that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean that I have any type of rule over this.
If somebody can really live by those words, you'll avoid a lot of stress in your
Amen.
life.
Amen.
Absolutely. All right, we got to take another break and back with another segment with Mark Rivera. Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show here with great musician from Billy Joel's band, Mark Rivera, sax player, a bunch of other things. And you got your album out. Talk about your album.
Common Bond. It's out. It came out February 18th. I'm really, really proud of it. I have some great friends that joined me. Actually, Billy played a Hammond B3 on my cover of Spanish Castle Magic, Jimi Hendrix's Spanish Castle Magic.
Wow,
cool.
that's great.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. As soon as I asked him to do it, because everyone says, "Oh, you're going to get Billy Joel. He's going to play piano." I said, "No. He's a monster B3 player. And he came out and killed Spanish Castle Magic."
Wow.
And then I asked Ringo to play on one of my songs, "Money, Money, Money." So Ringo's on it.
Great.
Robert Randolph is on the same song with Ringo. Nils Lofgren played on it. and Steve Lukather, the guitar player from Toto.
Boy, that sounds like a fun album.
It's
man.
a really fun album. In fact,
Yeah.
I have to give you a copy.
I love it. Yeah.
In fact, I have one for both
Yeah.
of you gentlemen.
Common Bond.
Eight originals, two
exactly.
covers.
Correct. I covered that, and I covered a Fleetwood Mac song called "Tell Me All the Things You Do," and it's just it's a rockin' band. In fact, I have a gig. If you're around March 27th, I'm at the Cutting Room. I'm allowed to say that,
No
right?
kidding. Yeah.
I'm at the Cutting Room March 27th, and
It's a weeknight, I think.
it's
right?
a Thursday.
It's a Thursday. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we got this. If maybe we could catch a couple of songs early in the night.
Yeah,
we
it
gotta
starts
get
at 8
to
o'clock.
this.
It's
You
at
know,
8 to 9:30.
Oh, cool.
And I have a stellar band. I mean, the guys, most of the players on the record, Charlie Drayton, Steve Conti. I'm
I'm
very
gonna
proud.
really try to do that. You know, like
Yeah,
because
I would
what
love to have
what a
you.
great place, because the Cutting Room, to see a band like that. What
It's
a
gonna-
great place, man.
I'm really excited
Yeah.
about it. And the record has been something that's been in my. People say, "Why did it take so long to do your first record?" It's something that's been in the process probably for 25, 30 years, because I've had songs in my mind, and I finally got to take a moment to say, "I'm going to take my chance and
Why
come
not?
out." And I'm getting some love from Sirius Radio, and I'm
They're
really
fantastic. Sirius
Yeah.
really is a great company. They bring stuff like this to light. And
Absolutely,
it should be, you know.
absolutely. And they take a chance. They're not so they're
Right.
not driven by, I won't say the man, but they
No, I hear you.
they get to pick and choose. And look, you pick and choose your guests,
Right.
And it's a great, to me, it's a great form.
It's subscriber driven, which is awesome. Like, you want to hear this? There's a place to hear.
There
it,
you go.
You know.
Yeah.
And the Cutting Room, March 27th.
Yep.
And the album is Common Bond, and you're going to be with Billy for all the shows,
yes,
all the
yes.
resident shows. So you said you went. How many? You saw 12 shows.
12.
So that's a year.
So far.
A year worth of stuff, and you get the idea. He'll just keep doing. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if he could probably do it as long as he wants.
Well, quite frankly, in the words of Tony Bennett,
Yeah.
who I love, he said that Billy Joel is the walking American songbook.
right, he is. man.
And quite fraently,
Think of the hits, my God.
it does, and it doesn't stop, because
Right.
we play at the Garden. I don't know if you know this, but the Garden is built on springs.
Yeah.
It's earthquake proof. And when we do You May Be Right at the end of the night,
It goes over there.
the whole thing is
Wow.
literally bouncing up and down.
Again, you guys,
Amazing.
Bruce, the Stones, and the Who. The only time I've ever felt that at the Garden. I've seen all of you there. Again, the newer album is Common Bond, and go get it. Check it out. Mark, thanks so
Thank you
much.
much, Artie. John, it's a pleasure. God
Thank
bless
you.
you, gents.
The great Mark Rivera. Hope to see you soon. Back
God
after
willing.
this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.